Hello everyone, my name is Devin, and today I want to talk about my animation process and how I made this in Toon-Boom Harmony. I'll start by saying that I'm learning as I go in this artistic adventure I'm on. I'm someone who's always liked drawing and creating in some way or another, and I came into owning a Surface Pro tablet, and that turned my creative energies into digital art and 2D animation. I'm certainly not the best, but I'm learning, and I'm looking to share my progress on YouTube here as I go along. My goal with this Overwatch fan animation was to take this highlight intro and turn it into something of my own. I've primarily been animating in Flash Pro or Adobe Animate, so Toon-Boom was brand new for me with this animation. Now, the easiest way to do this would have been to maybe trace the key poses and draw the rest on my own for an accurate recreation. But I decided against that very early in the process, choosing instead to break it down and draw it as from a description. What happens in the clip? Well, Doomfist runs forward, scrunches up, executes an uppercut, charges another punch, and rockets forward dramatically towards the camera. With that general description in mind, I grabbed some reference images and began the blocking stage of the animation. This stage is super important because I'm making rough sketches of the figure and trying to get down the key poses and the timing. Nothing has to be drawn perfectly here, I'm just laying the foundation. I usually like to do all my rough drawings in a light blue, since when the clean line work shows up in a darker color above it, the roughs can kind of fade away out of sight. I may go back and change drawings or add more where I maybe shouldn't in the roughs, but this is a symptom of my inexperience, where I make too much work for myself early on. In this stage, you're sometimes grabbing drawings and moving them along the timeline into different positions, making sure the timing is where you want it, since you don't want to be in the process of making the cleaned up art when you notice the timing is off on something. A strong foundation builds a great animation, after all. Also in the early stages, I took some time to study the character a little more. I made some very rough sketches of Doomfist, his proportions, as well as trying to simplify his gauntlet, which is kind of beyond my patience and my skill to draw perfectly for something like this. With the character feeling more familiar to me, I began making cleaner line work to go over top of the roughs. This process took a long time, for two reasons. The first is that I am new to Toon-Boom, and the brush and selection tools were something I was slowly getting used to. The second would be that in Toon-Boom specifically, I found the inherent line wobble with the Surface Pro pen to be very prominent while drawing. This meant I had to draw and redraw a lot of my lines. With line work finally completed, I colored using the paint bucket tool, throwing everything together pretty quickly. Toon-Boom has a feature that allows for ease of shading using a drawable guide of sorts. I am aware of this tool and plan to use it in my next outing with the program. This project just wasn't going to go too deep into the software's features. I used some separate layers and used a peg to add motion to a drawing, and I felt that was ambitious enough. I added a few last-minute lightning effects to the punches at the end, and looking back, I realized that I should have taken some time and gone back to do a better job of it. Since near the end of that single sitting, I was just getting sick of staring at it for so long, and I wanted it to be done. A tip for myself next time might be to take breaks and come back with fresh eyes on the project with some renewed energy and insight. But there we have it. After throwing in some sound and exporting the video, that's it. My first hand-drawn animation in Toon-Boom Harmony, with lots more to come, I'm sure. Thanks for sticking around. If you're interested in following my art learning journey and seeing what I create, be sure to subscribe to see more videos in the future. I'll see you next time.